Hey all, I'm young adult and middle grade author Frank Morelli, and I'm here in my empty classroom because I think we're all kind of doing the same thing right now. We're trying to get online and learn a little bit. And I hope with the time that you now have on your hands that you're going to try to read a lot more books. If you're looking for a few good books, I'd like to share a few of mine with you. My middle grade books are part of a series which started in September of 2019 with the first book in the series, Please Return to Norbert M. Finkelstein. And the sequel to that book is due out on March 27th. It is called Please Return to Toby Solano. They're both written or told by different narrators. And in fact, the first book, Please Return to Norbert M. Finkelstein, is told through the eyes of a middle school English teacher. He writes it in a diary format, like a journal. And in it, you find out that his main dream, aside from teaching, is to be able to send his mom on a dream vacation to the Greek islands. And the only way that he can afford to do that is by living a secret double life. And a secret double life happens to be that of a professional wrestler in a very lame and very local amateurish professional wrestling federation. Uh, the main problem is that his students find out about his secret journal, and it uncovers his secret life, and they wind up helping him rise to the top of the ranks in the MWF, which is the name of the Wrestling Federation. In the second book, Toby Solano happens to be the kid who actually found the book in the first book in the series. He found the journal, and he reads along and winds up finding out all about his new classmates because he happens to be the new kid in school. He also happens to be deciding on whether he wants to follow his lifestyle of being a bully or if he wants to pull back and learn how to actually treat people with respect. So that's that series. It's really kind of fun. Includes a lot of wrestling, lucha libre style wrestling, lots of different zany wrestling characters that were created. The book is illustrated, and the illustrations are really fun. They will definitely make you laugh. It's kind of a fun book to read if you're kind of just looking for something new. If you happen to have a brother or sister who's a young adult, maybe in high school, or if you happen to be at that age group, I have another book out, my debut novel. It's called No Sad Songs. It's a story of an 18-year-old boy. He's a high school senior. He loses his parents, and then he winds up becoming the caregiver for his grandfather, who's in the latter stages of Alzheimer's. And the story is actually based upon my own experiences. When I was a teenager, my grandfather was diagnosed with Pick's disease, which is a form of dementia, and he had it for 7 years. And during that time, my parents were his primary caregivers, and I kind of helped them out as much as I could. And I felt kind of guilty about it because, when you're facing a disease like Alzheimer's, it's a losing battle, and you always feel like there's more that you could have done to help the people involved. So one of the ways that I tried to exercise those demons was to write No Sad Songs. And the story really includes a lot of punk music, grunge music, poetry, baseball, a lot of humor, but it also delves into a very serious situation that's happening all over the world, and that is the epidemic of Alzheimer's and the amount of people that will be serving as caregivers in the future. So if you want to learn about that experience and see how it unfolds in a young man's life who is really just trying to be a teenager, but is also taking on a very adult role of being a caregiver for his grandfather, I'd recommend picking up a copy of No Sad Songs. And last but not least, I just wanted to put a couple of tips out there. First of all, if you go on my author website, frankmorellywrites.com, there's an entire page that I'm putting together day by day, adding to it that has resources, recorded book talks. It has opportunities for you to connect with other young adult and middle grade authors who might be willing to visit your classroom on a virtual basis. Please check there. And I'll also leave you, there's one link on there if you happen to be a writer right now and you're really trying to put a story together, you're trying to create characters and decide the characters that are going to make up your story. There's a link on my website on the resources page to a Proust questionnaire, which is a really fun kind of party game type of, like, really like the original BuzzFeed quiz, which can help you to create characters and really get inside their heads and create some interesting personalities. I actually use it to write some of my own characters, and I think you can have a lot of fun with it over the next few weeks and months. If you need to get in touch with me in any way, I'd be happy to communicate. My Twitter handle is @FrankMoWriter, and you can connect with me on Instagram @FrankMorelliAuthor. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and stay healthy.